Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. Welcome to the Global Lab podcast. And my name is Rose Shiweva, and I am so happy to be here. I'm joined by the gentlemen in the city. But before I get to introduce the gentlemen in the house, I will talk about the Global Podcast, which is a collection of love stories in China amongst the global community. And let me introduce myself. I said I'm Rosalia Shiweva. I am a content creator, an author, an entrepreneur, a happy girl at heart, and I'm so happy to be here talking about love. I feel like love is the most important thing. It makes the world go round. And it's funny that we sometimes want to shy away from speaking about love. That is the main aim for the Global Love podcast. And I would like to ask my co-host, Dax, to really introduce himself because I do not want to butcher the introduction. Dax, please start with the introduction for yourself. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm Dax. I'm from Ghana and I'm a pharmacist by profession. I'm also a content creator. And yeah, as you said, everybody deserves love and it's good to feel loved. And I'm here to also share that love. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Dax. Thank you also for being here and agreeing to join us on this discussion. I know you have a bit busy schedule. And now our main guest for tonight is Emmanuel, who I saw his work on Jenny's platform. And that's how I ended up finding out about his YouTube channel. And I think he's doing such an impactful work with his Self Seed podcast. And then I went, of course, to scroll on your WeChat channel. I couldn't have you on the show without doing a deeper dive on what you do. And I really think the work that you do, even in fitness, in content creation, so amazing. But without further ado, I would like you, Emmanuel, to start. Introduce yourself. Well, don't leave anything behind. Tell us everything that you would like the viewers to know. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Saitoti. You can just call me Iman. And she has mentioned it all. I am a content creator. I am an educator. I'm an engineer. I am what? A fitness instructor. I am I'm an entrepreneur and so on, many others. And yeah, I'm from the United Republic of Tanzania, and I'm glad to be here on the podcast. And yep, that's about it. Is there anything else you guys need?
Yeah, please, maybe you can tell us about Self Seed Podcast. What you do, when did you start, and what is the aim of your podcast?
Okay, thank you for that. I do host the Self Seed podcast. And the Self Seed podcast started in 2018. Back then it was called eTalks, and now it's called Self Seed Podcast. And the Self Seed Podcast is actually sponsored by my brand, this Aussie. Aussie is an outdoor and sporting goods company here in Xi'an, and now we are reaching out all over the world. And we are basically having product and services, and among of our services is, fitness and lifestyle services, which is mainly focusing on helping individuals live their best lives. And that's why we had to drop in the Self Seed podcast to become part of the brand. And the Self Seed podcast is a personal development podcast. It's an educational podcast. And so, yeah, we focus on helping people also become their very best selves, achieve their goals, and anything related to that. I mean, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about psychology, we talk about transformation, we talk about anything that you think is important for one's growth, then we touch it on the Self Seed podcast. So yeah, I guess that's about it.
Your
I
mic.
For us to see all that, we are really inspired. Dax, are you not inspired? You say something to the guest of the house. Yeah.
Yeah. After just hearing his voice, I was like, wow, he must be a good podcaster. There's the voice alone. Yeah. And I can't wait to have content.
Yeah,
you think.
that's amazing. Yes. And then let's also greet our audience. Let me ask the audience in the house today who are watching, because this, as we are recording, we are live streaming on Zoom, where we will then share the audio later. But also, at the moment, we are not the only one who are here. We have some audience in the house, Pierre and Summer. Thank you so much for joining, for being here with us. We really appreciate that. And obviously, you are welcome to engage with us in the chat box. Right. Let's continue. And I will speak about the topic for today. It's a love story. Okay. The topic for the discussion today is a story about loving without borders. As an expat in China, I always struggle to really pronounce this word expat or expat. Honestly, I will say foreigners in China, guys, because uh, English is not my mother tongue. So, what do I mean? Expat, just a foreigner who is living abroad. And loving without borders. Why did we really think of this topic as talking about loving without borders? It's because we know that countries or people in the world are divided by countries. Whether you're from China, you're from Tanzania, you're from Ghana, Namibia, and now we are discussing and want to dive into, say, since we are all from different countries, can we still love each other, or are foreigners loving each other whilst they're from different countries living in China? And this is a pivotal question, because sometimes you will hear someone say, okay, my husband is from Nigeria, for example, and the community in Namibia will be like, yo, your husband is from Nigeria. Really? What? Can you imagine? She found a husband from Nigeria and nobody really understand why would you choose a Nigerian instead of a Namibian? And people even go to an extent of stereotyping and creating like she failed. She was not able to find someone in her home country. That's why she ended up finding a husband from Nigeria. And that is so weird. Why would you classify? If you found love, then it's just love, right? They say love comes in all shapes or in forms. Love is love at the end of the day. And so that's why we were interested to speak about loving without borders or beyond borders. But before we get started, let's break the ice, because the girls are listening and I'm the only girl here. Sorry, next time we'll be including some girls on the panel, but I'm the only girl. I just mentioned my husband from Nigeria, but the girls are interested to know. I'm sorry, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Girls are interested to know, are you guys single or taken, or what is the relationship status? My co-host Dax, please start.
Yeah, I'm not single, but yeah, I'm not single.
Right, there you have it, girls. Emmanuel, I'm sorry for putting out your business in the public like that.
It's okay. I'm also in a relationship. Yeah.
All right, great. So we have single in a relationship, and that's amazing. So it's good to speak about love. I do encourage the audience and the listener to speak about love openly, because it's high time we start talking about love openly. Just the same way as we are so ambitious about money, love should also be something part of the discussion, right? So we finished that part, which was really hard for us to share all our business in the public, but we've passed that. So now let's go into the icebreaker, where we have two questions. Who host? Yeah, my co-host. Um, your sound. I think there's an echo, right? So we have two icebreaker questions whereby I have two questions that I thought of. Would you rather date a local person or date a foreigner? Now let's forget about us being in relationship or single, but from our own perspective, what are our thoughts on that? An icebreaker just to shake off every nerves. I know the nerves are there, but let's think about this. Would you date a local person? Since we are all in China, would you date a local person? And maybe just discuss with some example or some thoughts. Yeah, Emmanuel, I will start with you. Would you date a local person and give us your thoughts on that? Dating a Chinese person, since we are all in China right now.
Am I supposed to choose between the options, or I just answer based on your question at the end?
Yeah, would you rather date a local person or date a foreigner? Yeah, two options.
I think I'm an open person, so I would either date either of them. It just, I think what really matters is the alignment of thoughts, morals, other things like faith. In my perspective, faith, it doesn't really matter which nationality someone comes from. It really matters if we are on the same track. So that is simply my answer to that question. Yes, I'll date any of them as long as we have things in common and we have a common standing on different aspects. Yeah.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Yeah, co-host Dax.
Yeah. So for me, if you were to ask me this question in 2018, I'll tell you I'd like to date a Chinese. But for now, no. It's a very big no. Before coming to China, I really admire Chinese ladies. I was like, wow, if I come to China, I can't wait to date a Chinese lady. And coming to China, at the beginning, I had several Chinese friends that I used to just friends, and I could see how stressful they were. Like we've just been friends. Like every time they just like let's do this. Like I couldn't manage even the friendship. I was like, no. So it's a very big challenge dating out of your race or somebody who grew in the same environment. To be frank with you, is so challenging. I can't believe me, the same person who was so desperate, like so eager to have a Chinese girl, and all of a sudden, like my mindset and everything changed. So for me, it's a very big no, a very, very big no.
All right, Dex, thank you so much for that. From me, you guys should also feel free to like ask me questions, all right? Just let me not be like the only one asking questions. If you have any thoughts, let it be like we are chatting, right? So, but for me, I would say, yeah, I think I've passed that stage of thinking also within the borders, despite acknowledging that it's going to be very difficult to when it comes to culture, passing community, even community projection, because it might be easy for me to say I will go with dating a local person, but I will still face more struggles behind that. And for that reason, I know it will be difficult. I'll acknowledge that it will be difficult. But honestly, I do feel, as Emmanuel said, alignment in thoughts, alignment in lifestyle, alignment in, for example, religions. Like if you are the person is a Christian, they're not. All those things, they come to give me indication whether I want to date this person or not. Because I just came to conclusion that yeah, it's not really about the person where they are from. It's about what is their inside. What is their inside? Uh, it could be 100 people from the same country, but if the person is just not, the mindset is just not shaken, it's just not shaken. Doesn't matter whether they're from your place. Yeah, so I think I'll still be also open to foreigner or a local person. And another question is, so since we are all in China,
Yeah.
but now we have a chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you ask that question?
you just reminded me of something. I remember when we came to China at the beginning, and we had this lady from Tanzania, and we all the guys we didn't understand why this lady would date an Indian guy. To us in our mind, say we were like, this lady have to go for an African. Anytime an African, a new person is a lady who is an African comes to the school, we are always thinking she has to date an African guy and not other race. Yeah, that is really a mindset we have to change. Yeah, for sure. Like it shouldn't be that person, so far that person is African, the person has to have an African boyfriend or something. That one, it shouldn't be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I should also share my business in there right now. Um, Despite me being open, I lived in China for over 10 years, guys, but I've never been approached or asked out by a Chinese man. And that is obviously a thing to pass because as a woman, you are might be hanging out with Chinese local people, but they're like putting you at the end of their list, or maybe you're not even made it on their list, right? So those are some challenges. Despite being open, there might not never be an opportunity or a chance. I'm just remembering the time when I was
Probably,
studying. Yes, Tax.
probably they are shy. I think Chinese, they are really
Yeah,
shy.
Chinese are shy.
Yeah. Maybe most of them
Uh,
really like how to start. One thing I've noticed, even just friendship, guys like Chinese guys just approaching another guy for WeChat, they are mostly shy. So I don't know, but ha, if you're in China, you need a Chinese guy or something, just start it. Don't wait for Chinese.
don't don't wait for them to start, right? Just start to go beyond the borders. Start, right?
So the
Yeah,
things.
yeah. I think that's what we have to pass and go through because maybe the local people might not be willing to ask you out. So there are so many stairs we have to take. There are so many. Accepting another race, accepting another country, accepting and also still asking out. That's a lot to do for love, right? Okay. Good. We've spoken about that. Now let's go to marrying. Would you rather marry in China or travel back to your country and have a celebration? But let's say now you are here and you have your partner and you want to get married. Are you open for getting married while in China? Yeah. Are you open to have a celebration, your wedding celebration in China, or it must be going back
I
to
mean that
Tanzania, Iman?
that comes with two parts. One is I think you have more young friends or well-established connections with people here, but on the other hand, you have to look at I think your finances, that as I may put it, like your budget. Are you ready to uh, incur the costs that come with, getting married in China, like let's say venues, food, and so on. I mean, those are just simple things the quickest things that you can think about. But it also depends on, are you marrying a Chinese or are you marrying your person? So as for me, as to my understanding, I've attended my friends' weddings, and I mean, I would rather go marry the same person, but marry them back in my country. I think that's better for me. I feel I feel that uh, you might have uh, more advantage when you get married in your country comparatively to here in China. And with the same, if you look at it on an angle, with the same finances that you may incur here, if you go do it in your country, and I think it will be, you know, big of a celebration, or big of a wedding reception. But to on top of that, it all matters to the agreement of two partners. It matters to the agreement between you and the person that you're marrying, because at the end, remember that after the celebrations comes comes life. Can you manage afterwards, or is it going to be that we have to cry or we have to pay debts or and so on? But if you guys can manage afterwards and you all think it's a good idea, and you can, let's say, bring your parents, or at least a single parent in one family, a single parent in the other family, then that's cool. That's good, because here you have more friends, you have more what, and you maybe, let's say, you have lived in China for almost 10 years. I think 10 years you have made friends and so on, and a type of your own family. So you can do it. But most probably, I feel that it's beneficial to me if I do it back in my country, especially with the same budget that I could do it here. I guess in my country it could be bigger. Yep, and I also give my parents an opportunity of them to celebrate one of the important celebrations in my life. I mean, we didn't have maybe a lot of celebrations before, but this, at least they get to be part of it. Why? Who knows? What if tomorrow they're not there? God forbid. But I mean, what if His will is done? But yeah, so I think to
Yeah,
me, I find it's more convenient or more sweet if I do it in my country. Yeah. On the
right.
other side,
Thank
it's
you,
like
Emmanuel,
more,
for
I'm minding economics and stuff. I'm being much of an
yes.
economist.
Yes, yes, that's great. Yeah, that's really so very important for us to think about the economy. I mean, the being an economist, and also with who is present, and how big is the celebration? Which are the most important people that are with you when you're celebrating? So thank you for that. Yeah, Dax, come on, please share with us your take on that
Yeah.
regarding marrying in China or going to celebrate back home?
Yeah, for me, I know marriage as union between two families. So I can't mix not having wedding back home, like with my family. For that one, I can't miss it. But in China can be optional, depending on the person I'm marrying and maybe friends or something. But marrying back home, that one I can't miss that.
Mm, all right. Okay, that's great. On my end, what will I say? I was thinking about it like in terms that since now I've established my life in China and everything that I know is in China, I might choose a small wedding, and just to have really the real people, not the whole congregation of community. But in Africa, you have to be followed by even people that you have not spoken with for over years and months. And so I was thinking about it, and for my parents' sake, I will give them what they want. But if it was only for me and trying to be modest and new, and all these things that we are learning, I might choose to be in China to have the wedding, and even just maybe make it very small. But yeah, those are the two battles, and it's either one side, right? But anyways, let's move on. We have a lot to discuss. That was just an icebreaker. So far, what do you guys think? What do you guys think are about what we have spoken about so far? Give me your feelings, guys. Yeah. Before we go to the next part, what are your thoughts so far with what we have discussed?
It's
Anyone
interesting.
can come. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. And maybe if
All
the
right.
audience also have questions, it will be more interesting. But it's good.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying
Right
it.
now, I'm just worried that we have limited time because this time will not be enough for this conversation. Like, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Let's go to the next one. We speak on the topic from our experience. Have we ever dated without thinking? Right. So the next part we can talk on the topic, a story about loving without borders as an expat. have we ever dated without thinking about the border in terms of who is the person, from which country are they from? Have we ever dated? I think for me, I've mentioned already. I've mentioned. Oh no, I've not mentioned. Let me give my from. I'll start and then we'll go to Emmanuel and then Dex. So, have I ever dated without thinking about the borders, or I was always thinking like, okay, this man is talking to me, but now, this man is talking to me, but now, I mean, yeah, they're from another country. I told you guys I have a Nigerian husband, so that I really love. So of course, then that just eliminate the whole story. Have I ever thought about the borders when it comes to the partner that I choose? Yes, at the beginning, obviously, it was there. Especially when I just came to China, I was like, man. And remember, the parents tell you all these good things that you don't do when you go to other places, right? They say, okay, you leave my house, go to the city, don't do this, right? My mother was now like, you leave my house, go cross the borders and the oceans, you go to another place. You don't bring a foreigner in this house, not my daughter. So, and then I was just like, I was gonna obey my mother's rules and say, okay, mommy, I'm not gonna bring other borders. And even in 2 years, 3 years, when then if the Namibian men were not coming anymore, and I was now thinking, okay, mommy, you said I should not, but honestly, even the brothers are not coming, So what should I do? Anyways, long story short, yeah, I've started thinking, no, not to date outside of my comfort zone. I thought of not dating other nationalities, but eventually I ended up with a person from another nationality, just because as you live in another country, you'll be exposed to different people. And for that, I just couldn't stay the same person. I had to change and evolve and see what was around me. So that's my long story in a short form about dating beyond borders. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's nice.
Thank
I mean,
you.
after all, when you stay in an environment, I mean, maybe it becomes the Chinese saying of 入乡随俗, do what the Romans do. You have to become a multinational. That's why you're an international person, I guess. But yeah, answering to your question, it's in my point of view, I really never considered like there's any bad thing or any line about it, because I grew up in a city, let's call it like a multicultural city in my country. And so I have experienced people marrying other people. And nevertheless, just an example, in the country, people marry each other and they're not from the same tribes and or ethnic groups. So I grew up with that thought of knowing, okay, I am not limited to geography. I'm not limited to color. I'm not limited to, race. I'm not limited to, these other aspects. The most important thing, as I said before, what I consider is people that align to my values, as long as they come from any nationality, any background, and not background. I mean, I can't marry someone who is a witch, but yeah, as long as they come back from they are coming along the lines of what I like, what I appreciate, what my values are. I really don't care where they come from. Yellow, orange, black, purple. Yeah. And so I think and it comes also to another fact is like, where there's love, really, there's these rivers and these bridges of seeing colors and stuff. I don't think they matter much. Yeah, because even my family, my parents are open-minded, so they really don't mind, as long as, yeah, especially the only thing that they like to emphasize is just, someone at least of your belief, religion. And that's, I think, to me, it's the most important thing, I guess. So yeah, apart from that, there's nothing else.
Yeah, wow, that's so nice. I used to really care about borders at the beginning when I came to China, and
Mm.
I used to care about imagine marrying a Chinese who cook fufu for me. Like, oh, things. I used to care about these things so much until I realized that that was somehow a poor mindset, because sometimes you meet someone who is not of the same race, but you can really understand each other, communicate better than somebody from the same country, the same
Very
race,
right.
or whatever.
Very right.
So
Very
for me currently, I strongly believe in when you have the vibe, the understanding, that should be all. Once you have that love, as you said, there's nothing like borders,
right. Correct.
it goes very well. Yeah.
That's very true. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Right. What is
I,
the next discussion point, Dax?
what's the one? Oh, okay. I don't know, Rose.
The next,
You are married, or you are? I didn't get it well.
which part you didn't get, please?
It's okay. Let's
Which
get
part
on
you
married.
didn't get, please? Dax,
Viewers
I'm
are
married.
watching.
I have a husband.
Oh, you
I
have
will
a
repeat
husband.
for the audience and people
Oh,
for the I have a husband. He's from Nigeria. He's an amazing person. Yes.
okay, okay. Because I can see some of the viewers wanted to. Okay, let's continue.
I like how wives like to say, "Oh, I love my husband. He's an amazing person." Yeah, and the husbands, I don't know if they say the same out there.
I hope wherever he is, like he's gonna say the same thing. Come on,
Yeah,
Emmanuel.
very
Yeah,
good.
thank you. All right, let's go to the next part where that we think foreigners in China date considering which country people are from. Okay, let me read this. Whether we think foreigners in China dates considering which country people they are dating, or like, so do you guys feel like foreigners in China they consider where like for us we have already established that we try to be open, or we think about the borders, we've established that, but in general format, when you come to your friends and people around you, do you feel foreigners at large kind of think that it's very, very important to uh it's very important to think of where the person is from. And by the way, let me acknowledge our one of our team member who is not here today is Nacho, who really did a great job preparing this episode. Another amazing uh, content creator as well in China, and he was really on the back end supporting the whole program and everything. And Nacho mentioned something very crucial. He mentioned that foreigners in China, they might date until a certain point. And when people are about to leave China to go to their home countries or finish everything in China, the next step, they kind of don't carry themselves together, right? So this was how Nacho was saying it. He was saying, uh, well, people could date in China, but then when they finish everything. Maybe they were studying here and they were dating, they were in a good relationship while they were studying. But after that, you'll notice that those two that couple might have to break up because they don't know what is next, or they don't want to carry themselves to go to the next level, right? So
Right.
then Nacho feels like the significant factor for people is they ask themselves, is the person from my country? Okay, if they're from their country, they feel more settled in their relationship. But if the person is from a different country, they'll be like, I don't know what will happen after this time in China. So people don't think beyond China. They only kind of keep their relationship in the zone of, we are here in China and we're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Yeah, that was like what Nacho's perspective. Unfortunately, he could not be here today. He has other commitments. But what do you guys think of that? Yeah, maybe just even not to focus on the question, focus on what that perspective of Nacho that he shared with me.
Uh, I personally think he's right at some point. I mean, the problem it comes in two ways. One is a funny way. I would say it one in a funny way of yeah. I mean, my statement is going to come in two ways. One is a funny way, and one is the other serious way. I mean, one is the serious way. The serious way is like, I think maybe not, if not most of us here in China, we end up dating for the sake, like, it comes to that point where some people complain that there's no true love in China. It's because we date without objectives, and because some people have left wives, have left husbands, have left kids in their respective countries, and when they come here, because of how, I guess, life is, you just need to go with the flow. And that's where now happens that's where things of not having true love happens, because there's no objective to a relationship that you have with a person, right? For instance, I had a friend who dated the Chinese, and at the end, when he was about to go back, especially during COVID, the reason that he gave was like uh, was that she is a Chinese, the guy is a Muslim, and so they can't get married. You know,
Wow.
the question is, why did you even start dating in the beginning? Why did you go through the,
Why did you go through that?
you see, and
You
I
see,
guess there's an echo somewhere. I don't know where is it coming from, but yeah, you see, there's a problem that we enter relationships and then we don't know the objectives. And we don't, it's not just we don't know, we know, but we don't state the objectives clearly, you see. So that's why it ends up being like people don't really get married at the end, because now when they are going back to reality, they're like, where can I take this? I can't take this. Now the other thing is, they say, which is a funny way, they say, do whatever you will do, but the system will separate you. Pretend that you love each other so much, become lovebirds, but at the end the system will separate you. And what the people meant by the system is, like, you try as much as you can to date, but your 4 years ends. Let's say you're in bachelor's, right? You're dating someone while you're in bachelor's. Your 4 years
Yeah.
come to a conclusion, and when you have to make the next choice is when you guys have to go separate ways, right? And it's the same when people are moving from one level to another. It happens especially in that position when you're moving, you're supposed to move to another level, or you're supposed to go back home, and that's automatically the system splitting you guys. You're like, yeah, you became lovebirds, but uh, but now your wings are clipped by the system. Now, if the foundation matters, what was the foundation of your relationship? You dating to play, or you dating to, you know, be something? If you were dating to be something, then maybe you might propel beyond the borders of China. Because I mean, there are people who have dated long distance and they made it. I personally didn't make it, but I mean, they made it. So why? I think what happens in China is miraculous. It deserves an award or something for people who end up getting married. But yeah, I think that the issue here that comes is the foundation that people enter relationship with. Because some people have girlfriends back home, but here in China, they say they are single. Nobody can prove that they have girlfriend. They talk to their girlfriends at 2 p.m., 2 a.m. Sorry, I just say 2 p.m., 2 a.m. Some people talk to their boyfriends, their husbands at 3 a.m. You are sleeping. Someone else is, when your duty finished, actually, your session ended at 10. You were sleeping. Hmm? 早睡早起. You were sleeping at 11. Okay. Nighttime is for another person. And so I guess uh, it so happens that the system just, I think, and this comes to the point that we really have to be honest with our feelings and our whatever the thing is. That when we put a foundation, even when it reaches the point that it can't work, I guess we can openly communicate and say, there's no future right now. So we agree that when we reach this point of no future, we make the exit. And yeah, it works, I think. I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah, I wanted to express it in that manner.
Oh, wow. Emmanuel, I think you really said everything, and the system will separate them. Wow. Yeah, for me, actually, I don't really think it's only about China. Even
Mm,
before coming to whilst in Ghana, we have several people who enter into relationship for their own personal reasons. Some
correct.
of them, I call it help me complete my university. Some people enter into relationship, help me complete my university, and after that, the relationship ends. So everybody has got their main reason of entering into relationship, and I don't think it's only about China. Yeah. And I love the part that you said communication is very key. As mature people as we are, sometimes we have to be really realistic to people. You know, sometimes maybe at the beginning, maybe there's love and all those things. But with time, after studying each other, maybe different cultures and styles, different like dreams, goals, and stuff, you can see that things want to work. Why don't you tell the person that now I don't see ourselves together in the future instead of, you know, lying to the person or these stuff? I think we are matured enough to be realistic sometimes, you know. Let's tell
Correct.
people the truth, you know. I strongly believe that sometimes I don't believe that having an ex that you can't communicate with or something. We should be mature that you can have an S that even in the future you can still have business relationship or something else with the person. Yeah, but yeah. So communication is key. In case you don't like the person anymore, just tell the person, oh no, I found somebody in my country. Let's be frank to ourselves, guys.
The question is, how did you find that person in your country? You're going to answer for that. How did you find that person in your country? But yeah, I agree with.
You guys just took me out. I cannot even speak anymore. I cannot. Some lines that were spewed in this time, and they should be on a t-shirt. The system will eventually separate you guys. Never crossed my mind to say it in that way. And honestly, yeah. Thank you guys for sharing. Such hilarious. I'm sure the audience are also laughing. Let me see. We have some comments in the comment section. Benjamin is saying the system is not for the weak. Ash. And then he gives a sweating emoji. Everyone says communication, but what should be communication when it's dead already? So you say everyone is saying
For the
communication,
week.
but what should be communication when it's dead already? Speaking from experience, Benjamin, can you tell us in the comment section? Yeah.
I'm not a victim.
Anyway,
I'm not a victim. I'm just learning. Actually, I thank you so much for. I've been tuned in. I've been always in the background because I was traveling, so I just got home, and I just love the conversations. Uh, yeah, thank you so much. I wanted to say something, but I don't know if time is on now on my side. I'm sorry, I won't open my camera. Just entered back, but it's so messy here. So the thing about you were talking about dating, like there's a part where you said while you were coming to China, is it dating across borders, beyond borders, something like that? Yeah, while you were coming
yeah.
to China, like the words your mom told you, they are the same words my mom told me. You know, she was like, okay, it's fine, you go meet the people, but don't dare bring me a Chinese woman here. You know, I mean, I think parents coming from that African background, parents have that what can I call it? They have that thing, right, with their kids. But I think it comes in an essence of trying to protect culture, morals, and everything. However, sometimes we might not look at it, right? Because at the end of the day, we shall say we're from this era and ABCD. But looking further in that thing, there's that thing. Uh, the question is, how do you want to run your family as a person? what is your future family like? How do you expect to run it like? Um, on that point, I think as a person, there are those questions that you must ask yourself before going beyond borders, right?
Right.
There are those values that you would want to pass on to your kids. There are those things that you would want your kid to look at, you know. I believe we have seen some of these families battling with the raising of their kids. I mean, fighting. Okay, they could not be physical wars, right? But there are those things like you find that a kid now is fighting to learn Chinese. Then at the same time, I'm using Chinese because we're in China. At the same time, the father is fighting for the kid to learn the mother language, you know. So they'll be like, so the kid is stationed in between the middle, in between the diverse cultures, trying to learn them. Everyone is trying to win over them, um, which I think actually affects these kids while they are growing up psychologically. Yes, in the long run, this is something which doesn't just come now, but in the long run, it somehow affects them. It affects their growth. And when we go back to our values and norms, I mean, this is a race that has emerged between the two couples, and you find that it would be very very hard, uh, most times, for the kid to pay respect to almost all. That is, if the mom wants the kid to be Chinese, so if the dad wants the kid to be African, you know, I mean, these trans cultural marriages and everything, I think they have contributed a lot to to the decay uh, of our morals, of our, of the way we live, we used to live. I mean, there are those good things that we would want even us to carry on up to now. I believe, Rose, there are those things that you saw while growing up. You would want your kid to learn. But here you find yourself having a man who is not interested in them. So they'll be like, that is so, it's so old. So I think as a person, I wouldn't restrict myself from dating anyone across the borders. But the question would be, what would what what would be that picture of my family that I want to raise, that I want to go under? Once I define that question, I think it can give me a go ahead to date wherever I want, so long as I have answered that question to myself the right way. Because at the end of the day, my parents will have to say, okay, if that is the person you love, my blessings upon you. You can go and settle wherever you want to settle. But that comes in after settling that question within you. That was my take onto that question. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking you back, but I just wanted to say it. Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benjamin. I think that's really a great insight. You brought to that point where you mentioned that people should establish how does it going to look like when they start their relationship, if it's an interracial, intercontinental or interracial relationship. Racial, oh God, English is failing me, but yeah. So if it's different countries, different languages, different religions, how should it look like for you as a person before you decide? And then that goes into, then that makes it easier for you to make the decision. I think that's a really great point. Thank you, Benjamin. Dex, I thought you had something to say. That's why I was quiet for a while. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Benjamin, for adding up. Yeah, from Benjamin's contribution, he just made me observe something. So far, what I've observed in China is mostly when people are getting into relationship, they they get into relationship because I'm attracted to this lady, oh, because this lady is in my city, oh, because this lady is closer to me, she's not far away. Like, people don't really think about maybe marriage. But when it comes to marriage, people really take their time. That's when they think of, am I really ready to marry somebody out of my race, this different cultures and all those stuff. So I think that's where the issue comes from. The mindset or how we think and prepare ourselves for relationship is mostly totally different from getting married. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are some key points that are really important for people to think about. And thank you for Dex for highlighting that as well. Yes. Hello. Someone wanted to say something? All right. Let's go. So then in the final part, we have like 10 minutes and we can just go over, or 7 minutes. Let's use 7 minutes. Let's go over to the PPT that we prepared, right? Just quickly. So we asked some questions to the people in our community, the Global Love or community. We asked them questions. How do they actually feel about dating beyond borders? And the first result, yeah, Dex, the next one, you can just, as I speak, we had like a response of 21 people. 21 people answered the questionnaire and 16 people completed that. And the next part, we started asking them about whether they are male or female, that, yeah. Sorry. Oh, oops. Here, I'm looking for the PPT slide. Where's the slide? Right, male or female, and we so that the four male took the questionnaire, 17 female took as well. The next part, we asked them where are they? Are they located in Shanghai? Are they located in Beijing? Are they located in Guangzhou, in Shenzhen? So we had people who were mostly from Beijing, who were 5 people, and well, 5 people are from Beijing and 14 were from other cities. And the next question we asked them was, question number 3, was what is your relationship status, right? So we knew that there are so many status of relationship in China because of what we've observed. So we gave them a list of options, which included single. Are you single? Are you in a talking stage? Are you in a situationship? Are you married? Are you complicated? Is your relationship telling you now that it's complicated? That maybe you said you are single, but you are actually in a complicated situation. Who knows? Sorry to put you out there, Dax, like that. The next one, are you in a serious committed relationship? And I gave also an option to say, please don't ask about relationship. The next option was, I am sad being single for too long. The next one was single but mingling. Some people are single but still in the pool, you know. The next option, and the next option, you can just slightly go, go to the next part. And then the last were like, I'm in a happy relationship and I forgot, or whether people said I forgot about dating. And the high number of people say they were within our community are actually single, and that's alarming in a way. But here now we have a number of people online. We have, how many are we? We are like 6 people here. Maybe the viewers can also let us know in the comment section. Are they single? Are they taken? Are they in complicated? Are they not even thinking about relationship? Let us know in the comment section. Pierre, Samar, Benjamin, and yeah, let us know. Because if we know the statistic of how many of us are single, it's then easy for these single people to move towards the single people, right? I don't understand when add you to the group and I ask you, are you single or you are not single? Please say you are single or you are taken, so that the single people fluctuate towards you, right? Benjamin say, I'm healing, he's in healing. Oh, so there's another stage called I'm healing. That's a really good place to be, Benjamin. Right. So we could say that maybe most people are actually single. So why are people single? Is it because they are not people, or they don't have opportunity to meet their right one? Okay, the next question, we'll just quickly run through it. Next question is, are you open to dating a Chinese local person? And 11 people said that, 69% they said yes, they were open to dating a local person, and 31% they said no to that. Number 5, do you feel it's difficult to date or find a serious relationship that could lead into a marriage in China? 82% said yes, it's difficult to find a serious relationship in China, and 18% said no. So that's great, showing a little bit of optimistic there. Yeah, Emmanuel?
This is what me and Dax we were saying. This is what we were saying. In
Right.
China, everybody has already thought or has already concluded. It's so difficult to. So everyone now is like is like a tiger or like a lion, hunting, and nobody is ready to sit down and eat. No, everybody's just hunting. Yeah, that's why I think most people would say it's difficult, because nobody is there. No, you cannot trust anybody, you know?
Everybody has hikes on, huh?
Can I say
Everybody.
something? Can I say something?
Yes, Benjamin.
This is out of experience, right? uh, and this is the reason as why I just say that I'm healing. It's just of recent that I hope this thing is not being streamed on any other social media platform, because is it? Because
It's
this
not
person
being
might be
streamed, but
asking
it could
our.
be recorded. So yeah. Oh,
Okay.
sorry for
The
her.
thing is, the thing is, I go and meet this person. I really got to like the way she carried herself. I looked at her attributes. Yeah, she was like that person. Yes, she had those things missing, but I was like, I can bear with the rest. I mean, those can come in with time. So what happens? I move in, I go in, I'm like, okay, we have this talk. After meeting somebody, so we choose to change the talk. So I open up to change to go, this is it. I mean, this is where this thing I want it to go. I define myself to define the course of our friendship, the reason as to why it is there, you know, and why I wanted us to be. So what happens? This girl asked me this question: have you dated before in China? I was very open. I was like, no, I've not. Then she asked me of my dating experience back home. Have you dated before back home country? We happen to come from the same country. So I was like, yes, but currently there is nothing. Before coming to China, there was nothing. So I came to China with nothing. So I'm meeting you here. You're the first person. Like, I'm trying to move on. Like, I'm now opening my doors for you to come in. I was being open, and this is my truth. I was so surprised when this girl told me that I have little dating experience. That is one. The other thing, please don't laugh at me. The other thing was
We're not.
like, the other thing was like, she told me I need to first go out there, date more people, learn that experience. Perhaps I can come back. She's like, according to what, everything, yes, you're this person, you're that, I like that, blah, 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 blah. But I think your dating experience is so small. I can only have you, I can only take you in as a brother or as a friend. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm not ready to be a brother. I'm not ready to be a friend. This is what I want. I mean, I'm past games. I'm past that commotion. I'm past that chaos. This is what I want. And I'm ready for this. If you're not ready for this, I'm sorry. I also can't have you as bestie. I can't have you as sister because that wasn't my intention of the word go. So I'm sorry. We have to let it go. That is what happened. I mean, I don't know if I'm even to ask it, but I got to learn a big lesson from there. Maybe a couple of lessons and more lessons I'm yet to learn. Sometimes I think the people we meet, however much we might think we are ready, some people are not ready. I 100% believe we can always find love, true genuine love in such a country. Wherever we can be, wherever we are, we can always find love. But the question is, you're the person going out. When you sit down and you scan yourself, you look through yourself, you make all those things. The question you have to ask yourself, am I ready for this? Because if you don't ask yourself such questions, this is what happens. We shall always go on bleeding on people unnecessarily. And at the end of the day, we get to be used. Yeah, we get to be used at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we get to curse. We get to curse love. We get to curse. There is no love in China. Everything in China is fake. Blah blah blah. All those things. I've had a chance to talk with with a couple of friends. There are people that have left China when their women were here and they were Chinese, but they are still in touch and they had kids. They are there. How can we define that? Is it love or it's not love? Yeah. There are people. I mean, because at the end of the day, let's leave alone this love whereby we didn't have any attachments. Yes, that love is easy to die. But me, I'm talking about this love whereby we had an attachment, and an attachment here. I mean to say a bond that unites them like a child, right? Once this child was gotten out in the act of love, yeah, let's leave alone. Let's leave out the pressures that people go in relationships. They like to just have a title of a dad, to have a title of a mom, because we've seen such people go out there just to just with their aims of just I just want to have a child because I'm aging. I'm 32 this year. I mean my family is on my back. We want a kid, we want a kid. Such people will never go in, or the kids they will have, they're not acts of love. And when I say love, I mean the real love that is between these people. But it's just to fulfill their egos. Just get off that thing on their names to say that they are barren, perhaps. All right, because there are those questions that always will rise from our societies whenever we delay to give birth, whenever we delay to do those things whatsoever. Yeah. So I think with such people, that is when we say we can't find love, and it's so absurd that on a bigger scale, these are the greatest people that we meet in real life. And once we meet them, trust me, the experiences we get from them, they just block most of us. And we just rush to conclusions to say that there is no love in such a country, or you'll never find love in a foreign country. It will just be just to fulfill this last, and then all of a sudden, when one walks away, It is all done and it will never be, right? I don't know if I'm trying to communicate something here, but to my thinking, love can always be found anywhere. But the question is, you as a person, as you're going in, what do you always ask yourself? As you're searching for that thing, are you ready for that? Because I mean, had I gone in with that feeling that I wasn't ready, I didn't know what I was looking for. I would say to this girl, okay, I can be your best friend. I can I can always play in as that friend. But at the end of the day, I have this thing at the back of my mind. I came to hit the cookie, and after hitting the cookie, I will run. I mean, men can always. I believe, yes, I'm a man. Men can always be patient, no matter how you play with them. They can always be patient. But until they hit it, I tell you, they will run away and they will walk away, never to come back. That is my contribution. I don't know if I try to communicate with someone or what I say just makes sense.
Wow. Um, Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin, for having the zeal to feel free to share your experience with us. Talking about there's no love in China. I always try to set example out of China. There are several people in Ghana, in other countries that they also find it challenging having relationships. So I want everybody to get it in this way that it's not just China. I feel like it's a global something. Like getting the right person sometimes is very hard. You know, sometimes we meet some people that they are not really meant for us, you know. And one thing that you reminded me from your contribution is compromising. Most of the times, in terms of relationship, people think of compromising. For example, you meet this person is not that spec. You can see that like there are so many things that it will not work out with this relationship, but due to the situation, after all, no, there's nobody here, there's no guy here. Oh, he's the only guy in this city. He's the only guy in my school. After all, let me just go in the relationship. So, from me, my experience, one thing I would like to say is we should always know what we want in relationship. If we know what we want, we shouldn't and ever think of compromising. Trust me, if you go into a relationship with someone that you guys really flow or you are meant to, like that is where you feel how love is so special, love is unique, how wonderful love is. It's very unfortunate that so many people are in relationship that they don't enjoy the relationship, like they are not feeling that love that they deserve. So I thank you very much for sharing your experience, and we shouldn't compromise in every relationship we are trying to go into. Make sure the person is your spec and is what you really want. If you are not convinced, back off. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Justin and Emmanuel. Like, what was your thought as Benjamin was narrating? You can share with us, if you have any thoughts on that. I think he really shared a very touching story, and that just maybe even took our minds to think about some situations or experiences in our lives. Yeah, Emmanuel, if you have any comment, you can share.
I think that the only aspect I want to touch on and support is, as Doug said, we shouldn't really compromise as to what we want, because in that manner, if we defy our own standards, eventually even the standards if we defy our intrapersonal standards, then it's possible that this may result into interpersonal standards also being defied. So in as much as you'd want to, I don't know, get true love or something, what are you bringing to the table? You don't expect to eat on a table that you didn't contribute on, I guess. There's no free food in whatever country they like to mention there. But yeah, there's no free lunch on that country. So the same appears to relationships and stuff. I guess if I want to find true love, I ought to first practice true love. I ought to practice true love, and I have to, because you can be, let's say, you can be hurting people or lying to people, and then expecting that you won't get the same stab you're sending out. What goes around comes around. I think one of the videos I said, compassion. If you show compassion, kindness, then you'll get compassion and kindness back. The same. If you show you play with other people, then I guess after some time you'll get the same treatment. And imagine everybody thinking at the end that, oh, there's no true love just because of, you know. So I think we ought to be true to ourselves and keep that. Do not be like, let's say if Benjamin said in his experience, if he could have decided to, compromise and say, yeah. For instance, the situation of Benjamin is even is better, because what if you find a person who says, I don't want to, have a relationship. I want to situationship, as you've put there in the questionnaire, that you have defined them all, situationship, complicated, so on and so on. So imagine all these people maybe living in the complicated zone and situationships. And just when you think about you and the other person, think about the connection the other person has with another person, you and another person. So it's like it's a continuous chain that goes on and on and on. I think if you you want to play, then you find people who want to play as well. If you want to be serious, then you ought to find, and you will find, people who are serious with it. I think that's my take.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing. Really, I'm learning, and I'm so honored to be here with you guys. Also, something beautiful to see in all of you, the vulnerability, and that is something to upload. Yeah. I think we are coming to the end of our episode today. We are left with really speaking about hoping that the episodes are going to share light on love in China to everyone. And also, we hope that in the upcoming episodes, maybe for later on, we can have a few people coming online and sharing with us what would they like to have now that we are trying to create as a platform where people can even openly share that I'm looking for this person who is like this, who is like this. And if there's a person who is out there, please reach out to me. That is even our intention, because apart from us discussing, we hope, even if we have the discussion, we also want people to come on the show and talk to us what type of people they want, and we can share their videos with communities in China, so that if there's someone in that community, they can easily reach out to that person, or they reach out to us, and then we can share contacts, exchange contacts. It's like a matchmaking thing, but the whole essence is not to the same way we are looking for jobs is the same way we should be able to be also aware that our friends can recommend friends or lovers to us, right? Or our friends can recommend potential people to us. I even took, I was about to share my friend's business on air, but yeah, it's just about let's recommend people to each other, so that we try to close the gap of love for other people. So the listeners, as you're listening this, we hope that next episode you can join us as we stream on Zoom, and also join us on our social media platforms, where we'll be sharing this on YouTube, on my YouTube platform, and also other platforms of podcast platforms where we'll be establishing this coming week. Because honestly, this idea just came to 360 full circle after a long time of me thinking, what could I do in this community of the global community. So these are our intentions, and we hope we'll do it one episode at a time. And if you are also listening and you want to come, you come on this show, please reach out to us. And yeah, that's all I would like to say now. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dax. Thank you, Emmanuel, for being here.
Thank you.
Maybe you guys, your parting shot. Also, if you have your business you want to share with the people, your Instagram, please go ahead, Emmanuel. We'll start with you.
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. I think you're doing a great job, and starting, if it's a journey, I guess you still have a long way to enjoy the process, and I believe it's going to be beautiful, nice, and sweet. Yeah, although sometimes there are hurdles, but don't mind about those. You can just overcome them. I mean, that's the whole essence of content creation, as you're doing already. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Dax. Thank you, Rose, for inviting me to the podcast. It was amazing. And you guys shared a lot. And I guess if there's an opportunity next time, I would love to be with you guys again. And yeah, my business, they said I should share my business. Okay. Dear listener, I am a founder and I'm a CEO of a company called OC Outdoor Products Company Limited, based in Xi'an, but services and products are delivered worldwide. That's aiming to become a global company. And our products are, creating sports and fitness equipment. We have apparels, we have footwear, we have outdoor gears, and so on for products. And for the service category, we have things like personal training, we have nutrition coaching, we have corporate wellness, we have trips, adventure trips, and I think, and many more to come. I mean, we are working towards establishing a great platform, as you are trying to do with the Global Love platform. And yes, you can visit our company, know more about our company at www.ocgroup.com. And there you can see and learn mostly about what we do. And you can find me on Instagram at Ebo Daily. And yeah, important part again, my podcast. I have the self-development podcast, who is your friend in personal development. And I cover many aspects that you can think of in developing yourself. I mean, financially, spiritually, physically, mentally, we all have it there. So I'm in the season 3, and I'm hosting different guests. Hopefully one day Rose will be on my podcast, and next time maybe Dax will also be on my podcast, and maybe we can share a lot. And the podcast is available at www.selfseed.transistor.fm, or you can just search on Google Self-Seed Podcast and you will find it. Or go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and etc. Whatever the platform that you'd like to look for, just go there and you'll get the podcast. And I think, OC, we have a Instagram channel at our OC, meaning it's all ours, it's all our thing. And on Twitter at our OC again. But yeah, that's basically it. And I hope to connect with you guys. And most importantly, I hope you can subscribe to this podcast. I mean, the Global Love podcast, and get to learn more and get to enjoy more. And I'm already a fan. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for being kind with your words and also with your time. Right, Mr. Dax, please share with the last part for the audience. Also, you should talk about your YouTube channel, everything that you do as well, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, thank you so much for trying to resurrect the love life in China. Yes, there's true love, and there's true love in China. And thank you very much for starting this. I think it's a very great platform, not just only to even get people, but to learn a lot. And I'm so glad that I'm part of the first people to be on your first podcast. And I've really learned a lot. I've really learned a lot, and I've enjoyed this podcast so much. And continue the good work. And I'm sure this will be a very big global platform indeed. And yeah, I'm Dax. I'm also a content creator. Um, I have three separate YouTube channels. My channel is
Oh,
just to educate, edify, and entertain about China. So the education, I just help people to apply for scholarship themselves without using an agent. I just feel like helping people, especially people from developing countries, how to apply for scholarship to China without using an agent. I started that because China has really changed my life, and I realized several people are unable to come to China because agents charge so much. I don't want to talk it so long. And the next is about importation from China and all those stuff. You can check me out on Dark Spam. And above all, don't forget to subscribe or follow this podcast because we have great content upcoming. And yeah, thank you.
There you have it, listeners. Thank you so much. And we also like to say, Benjamin, do you have anything you'd like to say? Parting shots, since you're also here, so you're part of the outro as well. If you have anything to say, Benjamin, and then we'll end the show.
I just want to say thank you so much. I just learned a lot. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to come out, share what you guys really shared. It is not an easy thing. Many would want, but coming out ain't something which is very easy. I just want to say thank you so much. Personally, I don't have a Facebook account, but neither do I have an Instagram. Personal reasons, social media and everything. So currently, I'm a YouTuber and I'm very good at it. I always, actually, I follow that.
Is it my end? I'm not able to hear you, Benjamin.
yeah, I can't hear you.
I always get.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, you can't hear me. You can hear
Yeah,
me.
we can
Okay.
hear you now. Now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Channel,
So
you
I'm
are.
just saying, I'm just addicted. I'm just addicted to YouTube. So if you guys have YouTube channels, you just drop me your handles. I'll tell you. I'll go. I'll watch. I'll watch. Again and again. So because that's what I do. The rest of the things, I'm just trying to build myself. I haven't gotten that much content to push me out on social media. I believe social media is a tool of change. And if used in the right way, you can speak to volumes of the masses. So currently, I haven't gotten that much of content to be consistent, to put it out there. It's why I got out of other social media handles and I stuck to YouTube just for my research purposes and everything. I just want to say thank you so much. I'm looking ahead for more and more meetings like this.
Thank you so much, Benjamin, for sharing. All right. And the last secret that I will share with the audience is yes, I said I have a Nigerian husband. It's not true. I don't have a Nigerian husband. So please, listeners, I just wanted to share with you in the end so that we stay on the same page, right? Yeah, I guess this is my secret. I'll like throughout the whole podcast, I'll tell you guys, and then at the end to see who has really listened until the end, right? Okay, then I'll end with you guys.
I hope it's not an invitation.
Okay, sorry, I'm recording now. Still recording.